Hey everybody, this is Grace. Hopefully this will stay up there. I got it leaning in a way. It might pop off of there. I just thought I'd come out here and make a video. It's 39 degrees right now. That's what my SUV says. It's probably colder. And I was going to go to the park, but it's been raining pretty much all day long, and we're expected to have, it was already supposed to rain all day long, and into the night when snow starts. In about an hour, snow is supposed to start. And snow mixed with rain. But we haven't had rain for, I mean, it's been raining all day until, I guess, like the last hour or so. And, so yeah. Okay, anyway. Plus it's kind of, right here it doesn't, I mean, the road doesn't look slick, but you never know. Anyway. But I came out here. And then one of the reasons I came out here was because I was going to talk about something that we never thought about when it happened. And I just asked Adam, I said, why didn't we think that way? He said, well, you remember that time back then and how the times were back then and what people were told. And I said, yeah, but no. We should have done, you got to let people know you're not going to treat me that way just because you have a suspicious mind. Okay? And basically, I don't want to go into great lengthy detail about this. That's one of the reasons. I mean, I could tell some stories that people would go, whoa, wow, really? I've never known anybody that happened to, but I don't, because there's so many reasons why I shouldn't, or just wouldn't, because, we're not at fault in any of it. Let me tell you that. Now, we're not doing anything illegal, anything wrong. It's just other people may be doing something wrong. And they might not like us talking about it. You see what I'm saying? But they're accusing, pointing the finger, that whole thing. I don't totally agree with. People say when you're pointing a finger at somebody else, 3 are pointing back at you. In this kind of situation, the situations, plural, it was that. It was pointing back at them. For pointing at us. But anyway, so I've said in the past when I told little stories, that the little ones that I felt comfortable telling, I said I have reasons for thinking this way because I've experienced it before. Plus, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. Yeah. When people are doing things, yeah, you shouldn't be. But anyway, on to this one, I told him, so we really should have, what would be the thing, counter-claimed, would it be? Basically, somebody was, I guess you would call it surveilling us. We had proof. Okay, and it wasn't just us that had the proof that somebody was surveilling us. And I don't know how much I want to say about this, really. But like I just said, what we do is we didn't make a counterclaim and say they're stalking us. If anybody's surveilling you, what does that mean to you? And there's no reason for them to, except for their own minds. What they have in their own minds, they come up with some paranoia or something. Conspiracy theorist, or they're just a bit paranoid. And they make a claim against you. Whether it's to, like if you live in an apartment complex, they say they complain to the apartment complex. If you live in an place with an HOA, they complain to the HOA. Something like this. And when you find out, whoa, they were watching how often I was leaving, how often I was, this or that. Yeah, that's kind of freaky, but some people are taught to do that. We're also taught, you see something, say something, all this kind of thing. So it puts it in a kind of strange, strange whatever. Yeah. But it really does. Now, their claim was so stupid as it was. This was years ago, years and years. It was so stupid, but it told a story to the people they complained to that they had been watching us for no reason other than what they thought, and watching us quite a bit. So, like I said, we should have said they're stalking. Now, I come out here to do this, but before I did, the reason why it hit my head, my mind, was because this has happened to me twice in the past 3 days. Okay. One of those days, Adam was outside. Okay, let me get to this. Okay, so Adam was outside, and we were having some lawn work done, and he was out there telling him how to do everything. And I was in the house, and the dogs were driving me nuts. Okay, they don't like either one of us to be outside the house. They'll go nuts, and if anybody comes around the door, oh my goodness. Yeah, so it was too much. It was giving me a headache. And, just so much, the dogs whining and barking. It was just too much. It had been going on for hours. So more than once, I came out front. So this time, you walk out front and you're looking for somebody. When you look, whatever you see, and, you see the person, you're having to look. Your eyes might cross over something, and you go, what the heck was that? And it just happened to be right when I got to Adam, and I was staring at Adam. Behind me was somebody's window, and they were standing there and staring at Adam from their window. And I was like, oh, that was kind of weird. Okay, I had to clip the last one because I clipped it off, but it just kept going, so I had to clip it. Hopefully, I think it still went too far, but anyway. But like I said, and I'm going to say in this video too, that I have reasons to say these things, including, while I came out here to make this video, I was being watched again. Now, you can say, well, you're being paranoid, but no, remember I used to make videos like this, and sitting out front of my house, my SUV. I don't like to do them, so I would go down to the park. And I don't like to have to put a visual effect and all that, and it just, I didn't want to do it this year at all. I want to stay away from that, but because of the ice and stuff on the road, that could be ice on the road and everything, plus it's getting dark, didn't want to go to the park. And sure enough, I haven't done this in all these months, I don't know how long, but the same people that would stand outside of their, stand outside and watch me when I would do this. Like I said, if you've seen me do this as many years as I've lived here, and will see me doing videos, it's 8 years, 8. I don't know when I started doing this kind of thing, but I've been making videos on my original channel starting 8 years ago. Now, if somebody has seen me do this more than once, in 8 years, I've done it many times, and is still going to stare at me and watch me, surveil me, stalk me. Which one would you prefer? Which one would you say? When it's none of their business. Once, curious. Twice, still maybe a little bit curious. 3 times you should say, nothing's happening there, so it's none of my business. I'm Texan. I'm not saying all Texans are like this, but it's none of your business what I'm doing in my own yard, on my own property, if nothing bad has ever come from it for all these years. Seriously. It's the same kind of thing I have about going to the park and people watch me. I understand that a little bit more, but not really. And now if somebody were to come over here and park over there and just sitting there, on the road, it would be curious because there's nothing here. There's no park. Okay, there's no reason for them to do that. I've actually had somebody come on the road, not park, and just sit there at the end of my driveway watching me. Now that is scary. Oh, my alarm keeps going off. But anyway, these people, they pulled up and in their car, like after work, and just sat there. And the only reason I see it is because it's right in my view. Okay, let me put it that way. Not my front, it's in my rear view mirror. Okay, really. And they've done it consistently. I wasn't watching them, I'm looking forward, but the light, because it's getting dark, showed in my rearview mirror and hitting my eyes. So of course I look. You get the gist, you know. And like the other time, and just like this time, you know, when you walk out the door, you know, and you walk, you know, whether you go to, like I went to the road and was looking around, and I see, or what was I doing at the second time? I was just standing there standing out, you know, looking at the weather and all this stuff. And, yeah, it's just so creepy. I have a character, I made a character, that, her name's Stacy, and that she has these kinds of creepy things. And I kind of channel all that into the character, but not exactly. They're fictional characters, or fictional, the whole story wrapping around is fictional, but, you know, some way to get that out of me, you know, it's so weird. And that my character, people saying, well, maybe, you know, well, they're not even saying this with the character, they're saying Mrs. Kravitz wasn't wrong. And I remember as a child saying that, you know, watching Bewitched, and I'd say, but she's not wrong. She's not wrong. She isn't seeing stuff. It's really happening as a child. Okay, so I think some of us that grew up around the same time probably still have that in our mind, that just because, you know, somebody else would say, well, you're maybe, you know, you're too suspicious, or you're too this, or you're too that. You know, some people like to blame the victim from before, you know, they just like to blame the victim, blame the other person. They don't want to say that anybody could actually do such a thing as to watch you every time you come out on your own property. They're going to watch you, and we all know that happens. We do, don't we? People can just, they think that, okay, I'm going to sit down and get a box of popcorn, get out my lawn chair and watch you, or my cigarette or whatever they have, and just watch you like you're a TV show. You know? And what about me is that interesting? Nothing. Nothing is that interesting about what I do. Period. In my front yard, I don't do any of the landscaping. Okay, I'm not doing anything there. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm sitting in my car making a video. Is it that interesting? Really? Would that be that interesting to you? I'm serious. It would never surprise me if they did get their lawn chairs out and some popcorn and a soda or whatever and just sit back and watch. Because instead they just stand there at the end of their driveway and watch me. Freaky. People freaky. Yeah, and we had one time, and they had to move because the woman dared to come onto my property. And there's a lot more to that story. Like I said, there's a lot more reason, but she dared to come onto my property with one of her employees and try to attack me. I had two big black labs in the back of my truck, my SUV, not truck, but the SUV, and I didn't know they were coming, and I didn't know they were walking toward me, and I was lifting up the back of the SUV to let my dogs out, and right when I turned and saw that they were these two women were walking toward me. They took off going back to their place. They were walking across our yard, not the road, our yard. And she was a big bully. She was a neighborhood bully. She thought she owned the road. I have videos about her. Luckily, she moved. I think she had to move. I think that kind doesn't have just one victim. You know, I think she did it to all the neighbors because we heard complaints. We've heard some weird stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's gotten dark. So, it's 6:06 p.m., January 24th, 2023, sorry. But, hey, that's my first mistake so far this year, I think. But, anyway, I didn't like that. It's the same person that was, I saw, I don't know if it was the same person. It was the same window when I was looking at Adam, that first time. And then the second time was the same one. Because it's right there within my eyes are. You see, if you're walking out, you're not looking down on it. Your toes are you if you're going out to see what kind of weather you have outside your front door. You're not going to be looking at your toes. You get it? I don't stare at people. You would think I'm a people watcher since I'm a sociologist. My master's degree is in sociology, but I don't. I believe in privacy. Seriously, people have rights to privacy. I'm in my own yard. I'm in my own car, my SUV, my truck, my whatever it is. It's none of your business. If I'm sitting out in my garage, if I'm sitting on I don't have a front porch, but I've had a front porch in the past. If I were sitting out on a front porch, it's none of your business. If there was some illegal, definitely, obviously something illegal, yeah, it is people's business. I lived in a place where, I got more stories I could tell about that. I lived in a place, it was an apartment complex, and it turned out it was something illegal. I did not report it. I didn't. Yeah, I moved. I moved. I did. I moved. Yeah, it was pretty bad because it was three of them. 3 of the apartments right there in my little, what would it be? 6-plex, I guess. 6 apartments right there. There were 3 of them. Yeah. And it didn't start off to be a neighborhood like that. Yeah. But they changed managements, and she wanted every apartment filled. She didn't care who moved in, and that's what was the result. And me, and I know the man downstairs, he moved, and we all moved right there. But so I have reasons to say the things that I do, and that's something that I think people really need. If somebody comes and tells you some wacko story that it seems like, what? Maybe you're just a little paranoid. Think again. Learn more about them. Get to know them before you make, and who are you to diagnose them, really? But anyway, about privacy, I want to do some videos about privacy because I see this, people stepping all over other people's privacy far too much. All right, wrapping it up. Talk to you in another video. Bye.